If your buttercream has ever looked like this, that is a very common thing for Swiss meringue buttercream or even Italian meringue buttercream. Any kind of egg white based buttercream has the potential of curdling. The number one reason why your buttercream curdles is because you are whipping it while it is too cold. So if you already made your buttercream and say you made it in advance, you had it in the fridge or in the freezer, whatever, you want to take it out and use it. You thought you let it soften enough and you go to whip it up and now it's breaking, it's starting to separate the liquid, you're freaking out. Don't throw it out. All you need to do is warm it up. So take a little section of it. You can take like a quarter cup of your buttercream, put that in the put that in the microwave and completely melt it down to liquid. Put that into your bowl of buttercream that's mixing and add it in. The difference in temperature with the warm, really warm buttercream into that cold will kind of balance out the temperature and will warm up the base of the entire majority of the buttercream. That will start to get it back to being homogeneous again. Don't throw it out. You could save it. It's a very common thing. Also, too, there's always an oh shit moment when you're making Swiss meringue buttercream when you're adding in your butter. You're always wondering, did I add my butter while the meringue was too warm? Is the butter that I'm adding too soft? And the best way to know that is to see what happens. You start throwing in your butter, and then it's going to start to deflate your fluffy meringue, and that's normal. You add in your butter and it still looks soft, too soft, too soft. And you're like, oh my God, this is the time. This is the day. I ruined it. I ruined it. I ruined it. Wait. You just gotta wait. And then it's gonna look like it's curdling for a second. Very normal. It's now balancing the temperatures of your cooler butter and your room temp, slightly warm meringue. And then it'll curdle, but in a way that is starting to stiffen up because now the temperatures are balanced, and then you have this smooth buttercream. Every time, and I kid you not, every single time I make buttercream, I have a moment. Every time, like literally, I've been doing this over 10 years, and every time I'm like, oh, this is the time. This is the time I ruin it. Nah. If you don't panic, you didn't make good Swiss meringue buttercream, okay? I did have a time, however, when I added in my butter and it was completely soup. Like I let it mix, thinking like, oh, give it time, give it time, give it time. It was soup, and I wanted to cry. In that moment, all you need to do is put the entire bowl the buttercream is in the fridge. It's just simply too warm. Either your meringue was not cooled down enough when you added in your butter, or your butter was way too soft. And with your meringue being warm on the warmer side, that was too much of a softened butter. It's too warm. It needs to cool down and stiffen up and harden a little bit. Put it back in the fridge. Check it, take it out after like 20 minutes or so, depending on how much you made, and put it back in the mixer. Check it then.